Hey, what's going on, Impact Youth? Got a message here for you today. So we weren't able to meet in person. We were gonna do outside, but it looks like it's gonna rain. And then we were gonna do inside, but they're spraying the place with antibacterial stuff. So I got a message here for you, and we're gonna just meet over online. And so the title of it is The Beauty of Dependence. The Beauty of Dependence. And we were looking at Abraham and his story and how God intertwined with him and how, man, just God did an amazing work in his life. And really, the title is, again, Dependence is not weakness. And my idea is that God is the one who accomplishes the purposes in our lives, right? And as I was thinking about this, I was thinking about what frustrates me more than anything, and that's when I can't do anything. That's when I'm not able to do something. When I lack maybe the ability or the motivation or what is necessary to get something done that I need to get done, whether it be reaching the top shelf to grab a cookie and I'm too short to get it, or whether it be maybe not getting into a college because maybe my grades weren't good enough. There's nothing more painful than not being able to help yourself, to do what you have to do. And that's what I see in this story as well. But what I also saw about this is, although it's the most frustrating thing in the world, there's something beautiful about not being able to help yourself at times. And that is that you have to become dependent on someone else, right? And whether it be like reaching for a cookie, well, luckily my brother-in-law is 6'4", so he can reach that cookie for me, right? Or whether it be maybe not getting into a college, man, thank God that I have friends maybe who will come alongside me and help me, or a tutor who will help me so that next year I'll be able to get in. Right? And so dependence, there's a beauty to it. Dependence doesn't have to be weakness. And that's what we see in the life of Abraham. You see, Abraham, he's just this regular guy. Right? He's just this regular guy, and all of a sudden God says to him, Abraham, get up and go, take your family. I want you to go on a massive journey. I'm going to take you to a new land. He doesn't even tell him where he's going. And so Abraham gets up, and what God says to him is this. He makes a promise to him. He says, oh, the wind took my chapters. So this is what God says. He says, now the Lord said to Abram, go from your country and your kindred, which is your family, and your father's house to the land that I will show you, and I will make of you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. This is what God's saying to Abraham. And God makes this massive promise. And so Abraham gets up, takes his family, takes all of his stuff, takes all of his workers, takes everything, all of his sheep, and he starts walking, right? And he's walking, he walks through Egypt. And when he's in Egypt, he thinks that Pharaoh's going to steal his wife, or the king of Egypt's going to steal his wife. So he says, this is my sister, it's not my wife. So Pharaoh takes his wife, and then God afflicts Pharaoh, sends all kinds of maybe disasters and stuff. And then Pharaoh's like, dude, this is your wife, this isn't your sister, take her, dude, get out of here. And so Abraham, he takes his wife and he leaves, right? And then he's with his nephew Lot, right? And then Lot and him, they have so much stuff, they have so many workers, they have so many livestock, they have everything they could ever ask for. And then all of a sudden their workers start fighting against each other. It's like, you know what, we have so much stuff, might as well just split up. And he's like, Lot, you go that way, I'll go this way. And so Lot, he goes this way. And all of a sudden, man, Lot and his family in the city that he lives in gets captured. And Abraham hears about it. So Abraham takes all of his guys, takes everything. He starts running down there. Abraham, he's 75 years old. He's a beast, man. And he starts beating people up, man. He saves his nephew, right? He saves the whole city. And then the king of Sodom's like, he's like, Abraham, man, you are mighty, man. You're a great warrior, man. You saved us. Here, take all of this treasure. Abraham says, no. He says, first of all, I already have a ton of treasure. He says, I have all the wealth I could ever ask for. But he says, also, I don't want your treasure because I don't want you to think that you made me great. And what I think he's thinking about is how God told him. God told him that he's going to make him a great nation. God will make you a great nation. Right? Remember this. This is what God said. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you in your name and make your name great. I will make you a blessing. I will bless those who bless you. And he says also, in all the families of the earth shall be blessed. Man, God's showing him, I'm going to be the one who does it. And so here Abraham is. He's wealthy. He's rich. He's doing what God says. And then in chapter 15, after defeating a whole army and saving a whole town, including his nephew, Abraham, he's discouraged. Abraham says, "Oh Lord, what will you give me, for I continue childless, and the heir of my house is Eliezer Damascus?" And Abraham said, "Behold, you have given me no offspring, and a member of my household will be my heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him, This man shall not be your heir, your own son shall be your heir." And he says, "Look at the stars." He says, just how many stars there are in the sky, that's how many descendants you're going to have. Right? And he says, "Abraham, I'm going to make you a great nation." And what I see in this passage, what I think the author was trying to get across is this, that Abraham, although he was strong, although he was wealthy, Abraham couldn't have a child. And God promised him to make him a great nation. But to be a great nation, you have to have a child. You have to have descendants to become that nation. And Abraham had everything in the world except the ability to have children. And here God makes him this promise. And it's the one thing that Abraham can't do. If God said build a town, Abraham would have used all of his money and built a town. If God said defeat some different nation, Abraham would have took all of his men and defeated a nation. But the one thing God said you were going to do, which is to become a great nation, so that the whole world would be blessed, he couldn't do. Abraham's like, "God, I can't have a son. I can't have a son, God." And that's what I'm getting at here, is that God is the one who would make him a great nation. Abraham had to learn to become dependent on God. And then we see that God makes a covenant with Abraham. And in that day, you made a covenant by, it sounds nasty, but cutting different animals in half and then walking with the person you're making that promise to, walking with them through those dead animals. Like they put them to the side and then it was like an aisle and you walk down that aisle together. Basically saying, if I don't keep my promise, then I will become like one of these animals, which means dead. And so God puts Abraham to sleep. Abraham's sleeping. And when God makes this covenant that he's going to make him a great nation and bless the whole world through him, he makes Abraham fall asleep, and then God walks through those dead animals by himself. It says there was a lantern which represented a fire representing God, and he moved through those dead animals. He made that covenant on his own, basically saying, "Abraham, you're not going to make a great nation. I'm going to make a great nation out of you." And guys, what I see in our own lives is that we have a desire to do things. We have a desire to serve God. We have a desire to read the Bible. We have a desire to bring people to know Jesus, to tell our friends, to tell our family. We have a desire to defeat racism and bring love and acceptance into the world. We have a desire to be there for the person who might not have a father, or to be there for the person who doesn't have a friend. We have a desire to help those who are in need. We have a desire to change this world. We have a desire to do what's right. But in ourselves, we've seen ourselves fail and fail and fail and fail. And we're like, "God, you've given me so much, but the ability to do what I need to do. You've given me so much, but I don't have the ability to love my best friend maybe. I don't have the ability to say the right thing. I don't have the ability, I don't have the courage maybe to tell someone about Jesus." And what I see in this passage is that Abraham, the man who started the founder of faith, they almost call him, right? He didn't have the ability to have children. But this is what he did have. This is what it says. He says, after God told him that he was going to have descendants like the stars, this is what Abraham says. He says, and he believed the Lord. Abraham believed the Lord, and it was counted to him as righteousness. All Abraham had to do was believe. All he had to do was have faith. All he had to do was be willing and step out. In the same way, guys, all we have to do is have faith. All we have to do is believe God, that God will use us, right, to change the world, to change our neighborhoods, to be a friend to someone, to stand up when we hear someone being maybe racist, to stand up when somebody's not being treated right, when we need to stand up when somebody doesn't maybe know about Jesus, and we gently and lovingly share our faith. Man, guys, if we want to be like Abraham, we don't have to be the most amazing person in the world with everything we ever could need. No, all we need is faith. All we need is to believe. All we need is to trust God. All we need is to be dependent. And so, guys, this week, take some time and change your mindset from a stance of I need to do it all on my own and I can't do it to God, I have faith in you and you're going to use me to do what's right. And God's going to fill your heart with courage. And God's going to give you opportunities to do what's right. And God, He's going to give you motivation and He's going to begin to shape your mind and your heart. As the New Testament says, He's going to give you His Spirit. Why? So that you can live out His purposes. Guys, dependence is beautiful. Why? Because we can depend on God, because we can't do it, but He can. Just like God said, I will make you a great nation. Not Abraham, you're going to make yourself a great nation. God's saying to you, He's saying, I will make you courageous to tell your friends about Jesus. I will make you loving to be there for somebody who's being maybe oppressed or put down or shamed or hurt. But what we need to do is have faith. Take a step of faith. And I know you can do it. Why? Because you can be dependent on God. So guys, hey, bless you. Let me pray. God, I just pray that you would just fill us with your love. Fill us with your strength, God. That, Lord, we would learn to be dependent on you. That, God, we can't do it. But, God, you can. And all we have to do is believe and have faith. God, I pray, Lord, you would strengthen us and lead us. God, I pray, God, that you would just give us opportunities maybe to love our neighbor right next door, to love our friend, to maybe stand up for someone who's being hurt. God, I pray, Lord, that you would just show us the way. That, God, we'd be able to carry your message of love. Lord, I just pray that you bless all those with coronavirus, that God, you'd fill their bodies with healing and restoration, with peace and understanding. God, I pray for all those who maybe are facing oppression in America, God. That, God, whether it be through systems, whether it be through individuals, whether it be indirectly, directly, God, I pray for a change in our communities. I pray, God, that you would bring a change to our government, Lord, where there needs to be change. God, I pray, Lord, there'd be acceptance and there'd be a willingness, and that, God, there'd be a new phase of love, God, and it would start with us, the church, the people who have faith and depend on you. So, Lord, we just love you and we praise you, Lord. Lord, I pray you'd bless our summer and be with us. And it's in your name. Amen. Amen. Hey, guys, I hope to see you soon. Have a great week.